This video is part 2 of my WooCommerce from scratch all the way to fully functioning store series. This video is absolutely crucial for someone who's looking to launch their own e-commerce store. Before you get going with the actual store part, you have to have a quality landing page. People's brains are melting. They don't have any patience anymore. So copywriting, the information that you say, what you say, how you say it, and where you say it is absolutely crucial. My name is Josh, and I help people link marketing knowledge with technical skills. And if you do that and use a platform like WordPress, get your own hosting, you can do so much more for less. Stick around till the end of the video because I'll actually show you some WordPress skills for how to set up some shell layouts and do the technical skills for the information that I'm about to share. So you want to build an e-commerce store, but you don't know where to start. Let Daddy help. Did you know that agencies charge up to $10,000 to build online stores for people? And rightfully so. There's a lot of work that's involved. There's a lot of marketing knowledge and a lot of technical skills. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you part of the process, and through my entire series, the entire process for starting your own e-commerce store for absolutely free. Well, what about Shopify? What about AI and some of these places? They'll just set up a store for me for $1 a month. No, it doesn't work that way. They'll lock you in. Then when you want more features, they'll charge you for them. And next thing you know, if you look at your monthly payment, it's significantly higher than it needs to be. The cheapest way possible is WooCommerce on WordPress with your own hosting, owning your own domain. This is exactly how marketing agencies set it up because then they control everything. You have to learn some copywriting. Yes, you can use AI. You have to understand your product, and you have to display it in a way that gets people interested and persuaded to buy that product from you. I'm going to be showing you a proven layout that you can use for a landing page. 6 main sections that should go in your landing page, and then you can decide how to fill out the copywriting afterwards, but it's proven, it's tried and true, and it's tested, and tons of smarter people than me are using this to build their landing pages and their e-commerce landing pages as well. I put together a free resource for you. It can be found at chloris.abgportal.net. And it walks you through the sections of a landing page. What should be in your hero section? What should be in your trust and authority section? What should be kind of in the final conversion block? And then you can map that over to your situation, talk with ChatGPT or an AI of choice, feed it some of your information, and at least get your landing page looking a little more professional than you just listing all of your services. That's brutal. Don't just list your products and hope people will buy them. Don't just list your services and hope people will buy them. That's not how it works. You have to persuade, you have to sell, you have to give value, you have to show that value, and you do not have a lot of time to do it. You have to start with your offer. You have to understand the products you're selling. You have to understand the brand you're trying to represent. You need to believe in them, you need to understand them, you need to trust them, and you need to love them. That is the key here. You can't just launch a store and sell some product that you know nothing about. It's really important that you believe in the product that you're trying to sell and you're honest and forthcoming about it. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to clean up the header and footer to style it up a little bit better in WordPress, how to use the inherent block system to create the 6 template patterns that you need. I'm going to be walking you through the exact setup that I use for clients of mine. At the end of the day, the client decides what needs to be said. If this is an e-commerce store that you're trying to build, well, you have total control. But all I can do is share the information that should be on a landing page, map out that shell layout in WordPress, give them a sample so that they can look at that. The reality here is simple designs work, nice simple contrast, use your branding, get the information out there, point them in the direction of your store, and then over time you can adjust the copywriting. You can change sections, you can expand, but you have to have a quality landing page. So in terms of the technical skills, there's not a lot of technical skills here. I just kind of clean up the header and footer. I put these 6 sections in place so that once I get the information, I can go ahead and style up that information in my hero section, for example. There's no point in designing anything unless I know what the client wants said. Then I'll take that information, design a nice little block pattern that I can reuse or modify later in my website, and put that information with the branding, with the product images, and move forward from there. Maybe you're interested in doing some drop shipping. I'm not a fan of that, but this is a simple setup that you can use to all of a sudden try and drop ship a product and run your own store off the side. Drop shipping is stupid. Let's be honest. Are you really going to put all of your money into selling someone else's product just at a marginal increase? And the people who give these tutorials for drop shipping, they always say, put your money into advertising, know your margins. It's like if you really had thousands of dollars that you could burn through, why would you choose drop shipping as a long-term goal? Yes, some people have had success doing it. It's not a sustainable solution. We all have skills, we all have passions, and you need to pick one that you're trying to sell and scale naturally and authentically. But if you did want to do drop shipping, this is the cheapest way possible, is to set up a WooCommerce store, own your own domain, get your own hosting, set up a simple landing page, and have just that 1 or 2 products in your store that you're trying to drop ship. But the entire skill set can be mapped over to so many people who just want to put an e-commerce store out there and start to scale naturally, organically, and that's the way that I suggest. Because then it doesn't cost you a lot of money. It's kind of a passion, a hobby that you're doing on the side, and you can start to market and manage yourself, scale slowly, and then when the time comes to step out of your other job or whatever you do for work, you can do that. Video part 3 is going to actually showcase the landing page that's finished. Right now, I'm just in the process of coming up with the landing page with my client. I'm going to show you the shell setup, and then the design part can start simple. You don't have to be a master web designer early. It's all about bite-sized information, easy to read, easy to follow. Call to actions are there so that a person can scroll through your landing page, learn about your products, learn to trust you, and click into your store and buy. It's simple, it's easy, and WooCommerce built on WordPress is by far the cheapest way to do this. I guarantee it. Okay, here we go, sunshines. This is part 2 of my WooCommerce tutorial, and we aren't touching WooCommerce yet. We need to set up a landing page, regardless of what you're trying to market, whether it's a store, a personal brand, or some sort of other business. You need to fix your landing page, get your landing page copywriting set up. So what I like to do, clean up my header and footer just for the visual. So we're going to go in there and do that first. Click the editor, go into patterns, and then here you have a header and a footer. So on my previous video, I just set this up as a shell so that you can start to design. I like to come in and make it look a little bit nicer on this pass. And once you install the WooCommerce plugin, you'll actually see your store icons and your account icons. You'll have to clean it up again. So what I like is a darker background always for my header and footer. It's just a personal preference. So I'm going to go to the background color and pick the theme color that they've got. It's this purple. Well, obviously this image is no longer going to work for us. So I'm going to replace this image with one that is cropped and that has the lighter colors. Okay, and already it's looking better. I'm going to click in off to the left into my navigation, and I want to change the colors to a lighter color. Let's see what white looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We could go green as well. Let's just go with light. I want to go back to my stack. I want to get rid of that border that I have. I want to unlink it. I like to just add something for a cleaner visual. Let's add a white or that lighter color on the bottom with just a thin little line there. Until you actually see what the pages look like you're never going to really know. Now, in this case, it's a little bit wedged too close together. So I'm going to click into my stack and do a couple things. Again, first, make sure your margin is 0 because you don't want it to be creating white space below if you don't want it there. So my margin is 0. This time I'm going to add a little bit of padding, and I'm going to add the block spacing up by 1 just to give me a little bit more space like that. And I'm okay with that. Just a little bit of a cleaner look so that when I present the layout to my client, it looks a little bit more professional. But I'll come back and change this in time. I'm going to go back and click into my footer. I'm going to do the same thing here for my footer. So click into my stack. Let's get rid of that border first. Let's make sure the margin is 0. Let's go in and change the background to that darker color. Let's replace that image. Let's click into my navigation. Let's get that text white. Okay. Same thing's going to happen. You're going to notice, it's maybe wedged a little too tight together. So we could go in there. We could add a little bit of padding. We could add a little bit of block spacing. And this time I'm going to unlink the border and put a lighter border on the top because this is my footer. Okay, now we're going to save that. The order of which you do this usually doesn't matter, but now I've just got a little bit more of a professional header and footer. I've already set up my templates so that my front page is set up, and I want to show you an issue that's about to occur. So we're going to go back, going to go to my pages. Okay, so I'm just going to go into my home page and edit that. I've already got this set up because I've got a spacing issue going on. I want to show you what I mean here. There's a spacing issue. If I say save or preview this page, I want to show you what it looks like. I've got this annoying space here. It needs to be fixed because I do not want it to be there. It's bothering me. Okay. I'm going to show you a couple things. You have to change the template margin and play around with the template first. If that doesn't work, you can always come in to do custom CSS. Now, I already know the solution to this problem, but I just want to show you what you could do if you do in fact require custom CSS. You could install a plugin, something like Site Origin CSS. It's just under plugins. I've got it installed, and then you've got this area here where you can add custom CSS. So you could come in here and do the the visual mode. You can kind of click around and try and find out what is causing this issue. Site blocks. You could play around with indents and values right here, and it'll automatically add to your CSS. And another way to troubleshoot with AI, so let's just say I open this website with a browser here. You could right click, we could go inspect, and then you can just kind of click into your code. Let's find out where the heck my code. Okay, so this one is selecting the whole page. Let's go, there's my header. Here's the issue right here. There's this issue right here where it seems to have like a padding or a margin. And if you actually look at the bottom here, it's showing that there's some sort of a margin being added, a variable to the top. I need to remove this. And so what you could do is you could copy this into AI and ask for some CSS, and it'll spit back some CSS so that you can try and fix this. But I want to be able to try and fix this just with the block editor first. So I want to go back into my editor. I'm going to show you that there's always a solution, regardless if you need CSS or not. So I'm going to go into my templates, go into my front page template. You can see this white space is visible even right here. So I'm going to click into my content. Off to the right, we're going to go to my styles. You can see right now I'm not seeing a margin or a padding setting, but if I click the 3 dots here, they are in fact here. So I can load up this margin. It's got a default setting. So that's why, just like on the header, I click up one and then down one. Look, my margin got completely removed. So I'm not going to need custom CSS for this fix. I'm just going to save that. I'm going to go back, and I am going to go back. I'm going to go look at my page again, onto my home page. Let's preview this. And there, my white space is totally gone. Okay, now you could add space if you want, and it's in control of you. It isn't just happening automatically. So if you wanted to go back to that page that I was on, we're going to edit that page. I could go into this entire stack and I could add a margin on that stack. I could add a margin here. Now when I save and preview, it'll add the white space that I'm the one in control of. So let's preview this. And now you can see there's some white space above and below. So I'm in control now of that white space. It isn't just sitting there, and it's up to you if you want to add or take away from it. Okay? Next thing I'm going to do is we need to set up a shell for a landing page. So I'm going to completely delete this stack. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is just a shell layout. So I need to be able to explain to my client what we need to say, how you want to say it and where you want to say it. There are 6 main sections that you should have. So for me to display these to my client and kind of share the information and some suggestions, I'm just going to make a block pattern that I can reuse. This is going to help you learn WordPress a little bit better anyways. So I'm just going to add a stack. Let's go ahead and keep this wide width. Justified center, aligned middle. Let's pick a different background color. Yeah, let's go with a lighter background color like so. At the top, I'm going to go heading advanced. So this is going to be for the section title. An example of that would be hero section. And because it's the Green Shift plugin, I can click in and under advanced, I can create an animation. I can just really quickly have a fade animation, or maybe you want like a flip up animation, so it'll flip up. You can kind of match your animations. Maybe you want to fade down. You see the different options here are pretty straightforward. I'm just going to pick fade, just so it looks a little fancy when my client reads through it. We're going to add after. We're just going to add an image. It's always nice to showcase the branding. We're going to again go image advanced. Now I can animate this. Let's see what something like this looks like on the lighter background. I don't really like that. Let's replace the image. Let's just pick the one that's darker contrast. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And let's maybe put that to medium or so. Okay. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to add a paragraph tag for some section description. This is where I'm going to write out what he should have in this section. And then after that, almost always is a CTA. So you can add buttons. You can showcase that this is supposed to be a CTA. So since this is going to be a store, we can create a really fancy hero section where we have to have a nice hook or a headline. We'll get a logo put in there, put some copywriting, maybe some product images, and then a CTA. And then each other section should kind of have a CTA anyways, where you're constantly pushing them into the store. So this doesn't need to look great. It should look a little better than this, like at least, and then you can come in and figure out what you want to say in each section, style it up based on the content that you want to say. There's no need to think about styling it like a hero, no pun intended. But what I will do is just clean up some of these settings. Let's get my padding. Let's get a little bit of padding added. Let's get a small margin. Let's add a border. Let's use the darker color for the border. Let's make that a little bit bigger. That's too big. Let's add a couple of rounded corners. And then this is now something that I can use for each section. And so the power of blocks is you can come up here, copy this block or duplicate the block, duplicate, and now I've got section 2 that I can explain and section 2 that I can write about. And then again, we could go ahead and duplicate where now we can have section 3. So the way that I start is by actually creating just a rough layout of what should go in each section. I explain it to my client. If I save this and preview it, you're going to see each of the sections laid out, and then I've still got the header and the footer on the top and bottom. So I can come in and one section at a time, style it up. The power of the block is that I can just replace that block or restyle this block, this entire stack, knowing that this will be my hero section. Okay, and so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over to my resource that I made at chloris.abgportal.net. I've got an ideal layout there, and it explains what should go in each section. There should be 6 of them: hero section, intrigue and problem, solution and benefit, trust and authority, your value stack and offer, and then a final conversion block. Some of these can get mixed and matched together, but you want to think about them all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of this, explain to my client what I think he should be putting in each section, but ultimately it's going to kind of have to come from him. Certain wording and certain things he wants to talk about need to come from him, but I'm going to map these 6 sections and all of the information in them specifically over to his use case. So I've got his sections set up with an easy little card or stack that I can just edit. It's really easy for me to duplicate these. And then now I can go through and add all 6 sections, explain to him what I think should go there, get some copywriting from him, and come back and build this up. Okay, so off the recording, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you quickly what each section looks like and what I suggest. And then I'm going to send it over to my client. We're going to chat. We're going to discuss what should go in there. I'm going to come back. I'm going to fix all of the copywriting. I'm going to style up these blocks. And then his landing page is set up. Okay? So this part is crucial because every web page should have a landing page, should start on a landing page, and people's brains have no patience anymore. So you have to get straight to the point. You have to use good copywriting techniques, and it's a little tedious, but this part is essential. After we do this, I can finish out the rest of the pages, and then part 3 will be us setting up the actual WooCommerce plugin. I layered in a bunch of this content into my client's landing page because at the end of the day, the client decides what needs to be said. Now, I can give advice, I can share a suggested layout, I can do all of these things, but the client will decide, and then I will design what the client wants afterwards. There's no point in trying to design anything unless you figure out what you want to say, how you want to say it, and where you want to say it. This is copywriting. This is where you need a value ladder. You need to actually trust the product you're selling or the products that you're selling. You need to know them inside and out, and you need to be able to sell them. Tell people why they need your product. Okay, so what I've done for him is I've just got this suggested layout built showing the 6 main sections that should be included. Now you can kind of mix and match some of these. Every website that's serious about selling something has a strong hero section. So I've shared what should go in the hero section. I also share a suggestion of what I think we should put for images. And then I'm just going to leave my client read through this. So an example of mix and match, you could put the intrigue and problem identification paired with the solution and benefit. It just comes down to how you want to style it, how you want to share that information. And so I'm leaving all of this with my client. Every website has a trust and authority section. Usually it's in a form of testimonials or reviews, but it could be just using like science backed or something like that as well, so that people see, okay, like if I'm on the fence, I'm now going to decide to buy because I feel like I can trust this person or this brand or this scientist or this doctor who's backing up my product. Okay. And then at the end, there's usually a value stack and an offer. And you could mix that in with your final conversion block where you do some stuff like show some scarcity, show that there's a limited time available so that people will go ahead and buy. Okay. At the end of that, I actually shared some sample copywriting that I made for him on a previous version where I've actually filled in a sample hero section. I've got a sample intrigue and problem identification block. I show a sample solutions and benefits block. And then what I did is I put 4 and 5 mixed together. So I've got that at the bottom for him to read through, see some examples. And again, we've moved on from this logo. We've got different labels and different colors. And so I kind of mixed some of the colors in and kept some of the old images just so he could see. So this would be section number 2. This would be section number 3. Doesn't look that great styled, but it's just better than nothing. Here's the authority section. I just put some reviews in. And then here's the last 2 mixed together where you list all of the value and then one more call to action into that store. Okay, so I'm going to send this over to my client. He's going to be able to see a sample, and then he's going to be able to read through what should be on a good quality landing page. And then he's going to get back to me. And then I'm going to worry about taking one section at a time with the information he passes my way and styling it up. Okay, once I get that done, that's where we're going to start video 3 with an already styled up landing page. It's time to set up the store. It's time to get the products in there and to set up all of our little WooCommerce rules. But you need to have a quality landing page before you go. One quick thing I want to show you. Oh, let's just save that. One quick thing I want to show you here is that on the FAQ page, this is where you can use some search engine or SEO in terms of AI. We are going to have a frequently asked questions page, and we're going to set it up in a specific format where you want to have your category names as H2s. You want to have a full question that someone would ask as H3s, and then you want to have the answer as just a paragraph tag. And if you structure your entire frequently asked questions page like this, and then link it with a plugin like Rank Math SEO, down the road, as your brand and website gets more traffic, AI can start to reference that as a trusted authority, and that will drive even more traffic to your store. So something to keep in mind, you might want to just add an FAQ page on your store, follow a specific format, enter those questions, link it up with Rank Math so that down the road, AI might in fact start searching your website, pulling answers, and referencing and pointing people into the direction of your store for you. Okay, that's it. That's all for this video. Video 2 is just more about the shell, getting the copywriting done, working with the client or the product you're trying to sell, building that value ladder, building out those 6 sections of your landing page. Then you're set up. You can add the store and do all that technical stuff on video number 3. Always be grinding, especially in 2026.